Hello everyone, welcome to our Comments and Answers TJ channel. I hope you all are doing well. In this new video, we are going to prepare for the questions from our Christian life. We are in the week of April 8th to April 14th, titled, Adolescents Who Are Morally Upright. Let's begin. Question 1. How were Corey and Cameron pressured by their classmates? They faced pressure from classmates to engage in sexual activities, which was normalized among them, disregarding our brothers' religious beliefs that taught them it was not pleasing to God. They were heavily pressured as their classmates talked all day about their relationships, and, for example, Cameron mentions that her classmates would get very close to her, trying to touch her. Corey was also pressured with constant conversations about sex, even though he intended to abstain until marriage due to his religious beliefs. Additionally, he faced direct insistence from a girl to touch her inappropriately. Corey also endured teasing and insults from his classmates. When he refused to engage in inappropriate behavior, he was accused of being boring or gay. He also had to endure some classmates trying to force him into sexual contact with a girl. Some classmates pushed him from behind, while others grabbed his arms in an effort to force him. Corey was pressured with constant conversations about sex, knowing well that Corey intended to abstain until marriage due to her religious beliefs. Also, he faced direct insistence from a girl to touch her inappropriately. Corey also endured teasing and insults from his classmates. When he refused to engage in inappropriate behavior, he was accused of being boring or gay. He also had to endure some classmates trying to force him into sexual contact with a girl. Some classmates pushed him from behind, while others grabbed his arms in an effort to force him. Cameron faced social and peer pressure as her classmates constantly talked about their relationships and expected her to do the same. She also endured physical aggression as some classmates invaded her personal space and even tried to touch her without her consent. Cameron resisted the temptation to conform despite her beliefs and shyness. She felt the desire to fit in and be like others to avoid attention, but she also felt the moral and spiritual pressure as a Jehovah's Witness to remain faithful to her principles and what she believed was right in Jehovah's eyes. Question 2. What helped them to be morally upright? Maintaining a routine of personal study, having a friendship with Jehovah, and being morally upright, along with receiving help from their parents on these issues, prepared them to think about how Jehovah would feel if they gave in to those temptations, how their future would be affected, as well as studying articles and publications or, for example, the book Young People Ask. This helped them to continue trusting in Jehovah. It helped a lot. For example, the case of Joseph, as we all know, he escaped from Potiphar's wife because he was determined to make Jehovah happy. Also, personal study helped because it made him see God as a real person, and being so real, he didn't want to do anything to hurt his feelings. Additionally, talking to their parents helped them a lot, as they could advise them, and studying the Bible publications helped them stay loyal, such as the book, What Young People Ask. For Corey, it helped to stay upright, the preparation and prior education, for example, the conversation with his grandmother and reading articles and publications like Young People Ask, provided a solid foundation to resist temptations. Prayer and trust in Jehovah helped Corrie, and applying biblical principles like 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18, gave him the strength to act correctly in this difficult situation. Another thing that greatly helped him was being aware of the consequences of his actions, both positively and negatively. Cameron was helped to be morally upright by being aware of her actions and reflecting on how they could affect her future, her relationship with Jehovah, her friends, and her family. Another thing that helped her was her faith and her close personal relationship with Jehovah, which strengthened her in her resolution not to give in to pressure to conform and surrender to the social and peer pressure she suffered from her classmates. Avoiding compromising situations helped Cameron to remain morally upright. She made an effort to flee from sexual immorality and stay firm in her beliefs, following the biblical advice of Proverbs 3 verse 5 and Proverbs 22 verse 3, so her personal study was vital, as it provided her with the strength needed to resist pressure and remain faithful to her convictions. Question 3. What Bible principles could help you in similar situations? We see that there is a principle in the Bible that we find in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18 where we read the wise advice to flee from immorality. Undoubtedly, principles like this will help us in similar situations, as they helped Corrie. Principles like Proverbs 22 verse 3, where we learn that we should always think carefully before doing anything, we must consider how our actions will affect our future, Jehovah, and our family. Also, Proverbs 3 verse 5 helps us because it encourages us to trust completely in Jehovah, because if we trust in Him everything will turn out well. The text of Romans 12 verse 2 advises us to discern what is Jehovah's will on these matters to resist temptations when we face difficult situations. Philippians 2 verses 3 and 4, this text inspires us not to foster selfishness, thinking only of our desires and needs, but rather to consider others as more important than oneself. Therefore, we must first seek their well-being. Colossians 3 verse 5 advises us to put to death the members of our body that have to do with sexual immorality, impurity, uncontrolled sexual passion, and evil desires. In 1 Corinthians 10 verse 8, we are advised not to practice sexual immorality. Remembering this text in difficult situations like those experienced by Corrie and Cameron will help us to avoid immorality and to bear in mind that sexual immorality is a serious sin whose consequence is spiritual death. These were the practical answers regarding the study of our Christian life for this week. I hope they are very helpful to you, my dear brothers and sisters. I send you a big hug, and may Jehovah bless and protect you always.